Alright, what's up guys? So Antisocial is dropping their autumn-winter, I think they're calling it, autumn-winter AW18 collection, and they'll drop this Saturday, which is November 3rd, I believe. With that being said, I'm going to look over some of the pieces. I don't really want to go over every single piece just because there's so many pictures and there's not a whole lot of stuff to highlight, just because like a lot of it's really bland. Kind of something that you'll see Antisocial do a lot is just recycle the same logo. Like they always use that like kind of wavy one. They have introduced some new logos, but they're just not really like super creative. Like, you know, Supreme and Palace, you see these really like intricate logos or these really creative logos that they've worked their own logo into. For example, the Kira box logo, where it's a picture of Tetsuo laying on the floor and he's got the box logo on, which is just like kind of cool little touch, but you just don't see Antisocial doing stuff like that. These aren't all the items that are gonna be in the drop. Actually, usually the coolest items get teased right before the drop, like a day before. So this will probably be missing the coolest items, but in order to get this video up in time so people can actually see it before the drop, I'm gonna have to miss those items. So just to start off, they teased it with this girl wearing a pink hat, and it's a trucker hat. It's got the mesh on it, and just looking at it, you can tell that's like just super low quality. That's Antisocial has a really bad problem with just being low quality. I got a flannel last autumn-winter collection, and there are threads all over. They actually laid down one of the graphics over some threads and made it like a little warped so you can see the thread underneath, which is like really bad quality. But yeah, that hat looks terrible. But another thing I want to point out is these poses. Like if you go and look, the poses for the girl wearing the hat are like, they're decent poses. But then you pull up to this guy. I don't know if you can see it that well, but I'll try to throw a picture on it. But this is just like such a dumb picture. Like it's so bad. It's something you'd see from like American Eagle or something like that. And I feel like it's this type of stuff that Antisocial does that just really takes away from like it being a cool brand and just adds so much lame stuff to it. But yeah, you got this sweatshirt with a ton of brands all over the back, and I mean, yeah, it's cool to see Antisocial doing these different logos and different like approaches, but yeah, I'm just not a huge fan of that. Next, we'll look at the ASSC, and they got the C with the little copyright. So that's kind of funny because they get called Ass Club a lot. So, you know, it says ass and then C, so that's kind of funny. Like people like that for that reason. You got the red, white, blue, and yellow, and I think that's really cool. I actually really like the back on this shirt because usually you're seeing the Antisocial logo like that on the back, only in one color. But I don't know, I just kind of like this. I think these colors work really well together. So I'm a fan of this. The back of the shirt, the front of it is alright. I don't know. It's a box logo. You got some different like neon colors, then you got the rainbow colorway sort of. Just not a huge fan of this. I prefer the logo by itself without the box more than these. And then also you have this newer logo that I was talking about, and it's in a ton of different plaid colorways, and I actually think this is kind of cool. Personally, like I wouldn't cop it, but this is like a little bit more towards what I want to see from them. Just with like kind of the plaid, that's cool. You got the newer logo, so it's kind of cool to see them using that. Ton of different hoodies. The one on the far left is the pink one that was teased in one of like the first pictures. You got one with the yin yang logo in the background, which is just, you know, regular Antisocial over that graphic. Super colorful newer logo, and then like you saw with that pink crew neck, just a ton of logos plastered all over it, which I'm not really a fan of. Just overall, I think it's like super lazy when it comes to the design that they're doing. A lot of it's recycled. And if you just follow Antisocial for like 2 seasons, you'll see a lot of the same exact stuff. So yeah, I think last season they just started doing like shoulder bags. And this is the same exact setup, just a different colorway. I don't think they had any camel ones last season. The quality on these is really poor. I saw some pictures of people who just received them. And if you go on the Antisocial Reddit, you can see a lot of this information. They're actually a really good place to figure out like when stuff is shipping, see what items have already shipped, what has yet to ship, and it depends on different sizes, and you can also see different prices. Some of these were getting shipped with like already torn seams, so that's not good. They have some visors, and these come in 3 different colorways. They got white, black, and pink, and personally I'm just like not into visors. I guess it's kind of cool to see them doing a different item, But yeah, I've never really been into visors. I think they're kind of dated. So this jacket is actually probably my favorite piece from the drop so far that they've teased. So you see that red tag, and that's actually a collaboration with Alpha Industries, and they're really popular for their bombers. They do a ton of bombers, and they're actually a good quality company. Like, they produce some decent quality items. I think they're usually around like $200 for the bombers. If you buy one of these collaboration pieces, you can probably expect decent quality. And I mean, other than that, it's kind of a cool jacket. Doesn't look like it's super heavyweight, and I wasn't aware of it, but I guess they actually do a lot of Alpha Industry collaborations. Moving on, they have a military BDU. You see these almost every season. Nothing really special about this one, just very plain. You got the orange antisocial logo on the back, which can be said for a lot of stuff. It's usually, this is what they do. They give you an item, they put their logo on the back. A lot of the times they put it on the front chest. They got another shoulder bag in purple, which people might think is hot. I think it's a cool colorway. I wouldn't wear it, I don't know, I don't really pull off purple. They have the pillow with it, which is like a throw pillow. I've always seen these used on like hunting stands and stuff like that. But I actually think this is cool, and if it's cheap enough, it's definitely a cool item. But if they charge something outrageous, it's just like kind of dumb, because these pillows are really super low quality. I think it's a cool little piece to have just to make for a cool little decoration, even if you don't use it, because they're not usually very comfortable. Moving on, you have the face masks, and they've teased 3 different colorways so far. They got a red like flannel plaid, this camo, and I actually think they've done this same exact camo before, or maybe it was like a little bit lighter, but very similar. And then they also have this one with a kiss in the background, or the like red lips in the background. They actually have a T like this as well. I kind of think if they got rid of the antisocial logo like on the actual mask part itself and moved it to the trim, or I guess I'll just like call it the trim because that's kind of what it is, but if they moved it to the trim that wraps around and just actually like printed it on there, I think it'd look way cooler. But yeah, that being said, I actually really like this red plaid one, and the face masks are usually only like 10-12 bucks, so maybe I'll cop that. We have a Naruto colorway Alpha Industries collaboration jacket. I don't really know how I feel about this one. I mean, it's okay. Quality looks pretty good. Just not my kind of item, but I mean, I guess I can kind of respect it just because what they're doing with the color blocking is kind of cool. They also have a ton of different hoodies and graphics on t-shirts like this, and they always do this. On the front of this one it says "Pay no mind," edgy sayings and stuff like that. Like they put like anxiety or depression on it, and they'll do something like that. That's pretty much it. They have this one. I mean, this is another example of just how lazy antisocial is. It says "Welcome to the club," and I mean that text is, what is that, like Arial? Just not very creative. That's why I'm kind of disappointed in antisocial. And like I said, those pictures that they post, they're not cool pictures, you know. Like, they could get me to photograph for them or pose for them, and I'd be like, all right, I know this is a dumb pose. Don't post this picture. This like degrades the brand, especially when they're already facing so many issues. Overall, I'm really not impressed with this collection. But like I said, keep in mind that more and more pieces are going to get teased, and it is usually the cooler pieces that get teased towards the end, and then to the collaborations as well, they get teased like at the very end, I think. But yeah, just overall, I'm not impressed. Nothing really that I want to cop. Maybe if they tease some flannels, they usually do flannels, and those have not been shown yet, so they probably will. Yeah, if you do decide to buy stuff, just be careful, read about their shipping. Usually takes quite a while because they are technically like pre-orders instead of actual orders that you're placing. So just be careful. But yeah, if you like the video, subscribe. I usually do a ton of this content. I like making the antisocial videos because we get a ton of interaction on them. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And yeah.